Hello viewers, welcome to another exciting edition of the program, The Nigerian People and Culture, a tourism and cultural program that has been designed to educate, entertain and enlighten you about the Nigerian people's way of life. I am Ndila Mangai. Right now, we are at the National Council for Arts and Culture. We'll be taking you around to see the art exhibitions that they have in this hall. So join me and don't go away.
The National Council for Arts and Culture Gallery. Here we have a collection of all the crafts, not all, as a matter of fact, the salient crafts from the 6 geopolitical zones of Nigeria. What we do here is to have a representation so that anybody that comes, you will see that from the part of the country the person comes from, we have something to show for that part. We collect this from the best from the states, and we do these collections during the AFAC, African Arts and Craft Expo, or during the National Festival of Arts and Culture. And then at times we go to visit the clusters that are spread across the country. From this segment of the exhibition, you see the traditional cane products, where you have a traditional setting of a typical Nigerian-made products used to make a very beautiful and exquisite sitting room that is measurable to anywhere in the world. You see the pots. Of course, you know that Abuja is a home of pots, but pottery is what you see in every part of the country. In Igbo land, in far north, everybody is so unique. Here you find some Abuja pots, you have some pots from Maiduguri, you have some pots from Abeokuta, you have some pots from Lagos, you have some pots from Akwa Ibom. So we do collect every aspect of the crafts from every part of the country. You see the basket, the raffia works, which is displayed at the other side of the hall. These raffia works, you can see them also spanning across the country. You see in the Igbo land, they have baskets, they have mats. In the west, in Badagry, they have a lot of beautiful mats and baskets too. And in the north, you have what they call feifei adudu. They have it in abundance. And in Akwa Ibom, that is one of their strengths. You see, they use it to make shoes, they use it to make handbags, they use it to make all sorts of materials, utilitarian materials that we can use anywhere, that is measurable anywhere in the world. We have the Adire of Abeokuta, where the basic and major work of men and women there is the tie and dye products, and Adire and batik. It's also seen in Oshobo and some parts of the western Nigeria. And in Kano, you see they have this indigo. They have the dye pit that has been there for more than 100 years. Is part of their craft, and it's handed down from one generation to the other. Over here you have the carvings from Edo, the popular Kwenidia mask from Edo, which has been stylized in so many ways. And we have also the gongs, bronze gongs, which we use as our winning trophies during NAFEST and some of our events, displayed here beautifully. Within the gongs, you see the brass work over there. From Bida, they have the bronze, they have the silver one here, In Bida, they use bronze, they use this brass to do a lot. Even necklaces, you see a lot of it from Bida. That is in Niger State. The leather works there. If you move over to Jos, you will see a lot. You have Naraguta leather works. These leather works have gone around the world. Not only in Naraguta, in Sokoto, in Kano, they've mastered the craft of leather work. We have, I think, leather production in Zaria. And these people get their leather also, and they have also mastered the act of processing the leather to suit their purpose. There you have also the bags, the handbags made of leather, which is a portfolio which can travel anywhere in the world, which is acceptable because it's refinedly made. That is the crocodile skin, which is refinedly made and it is measurable to international standard. And you have the beadworks over there, and some of those beads were made by some blind craftsmen who are now in stations somewhere in Bauchi. They do a lot. They are not seen, but they do a lot of things that are very appreciated and have a lot of aesthetic values in Nigeria. So everything you are seeing in this hall is made in Nigeria. And a state, I think Kogi State, they have just introduced the use of cassava in molding in sculptural pieces. Instead of using clay or using fiber or using iron, they have introduced the use of cassava in the production of their relief art. Yeah, and those works won award during the last AFAC 2016. Cassava. And of course, waste to wealth. You see the horns, which would have been, somebody would have thrown away. But they use them now as decorative materials.
As we all know, Nigeria's vast and rich cultural heritage should be strategically repositioned to partner tourism as its driver to lift the economy, to position culture and tourism as the lever of Nigeria's economic growth and development rests with the Ministry of Information and Culture. Today, I would love you to join us in an interview with Obuagu One of Igbo Land and Damboran Kabi of Kebbi Emirates. He's no other person than Otumba Segun Ransewe. Let's talk a little about Nigerian culture and heritage in the whole of Nigeria. How well have we been able to project our culture to the world?
Well, thank you very much. Let me first and foremost make this very clear that our culture has always been our pride. But in the last 30 years, due to our exposure and taking terms with some international communities, we've been reducing the strength of our own culture by taking up other people's cultures. Recently, we did a research which shows that the number of suits and ties Nigerians buy is enough to give us over 300,000 boreholes. And we've turned it to become like part of us. In fact, some people will even tell you you're not dressed complete because you're not dressed in that other aspect of their own culture. But what this agency has been doing in the recent time is to reawaken our consciousness and let us know that our culture is quite rich. When you talk about why is it not being taken the way it is before, take for instance, the average young child those days spread on the ground to greet his parents. Today, it's almost saying, hi dad, hi mom, which is not part of our culture. So we have been working around the clock to tell Nigerians that our culture is part of our strength and we must capitalize on our culture. If you recollect in 1977, when we had Festac in Lagos, Steve Wonder, the great musician, said he had the voice of people who are the culture. He wished God can open his eyes to see these great people and the eyes should go back after. That's to tell you even the blind knows about our culture. So we are putting everything in place now to get our culture as strong as it should be. We are aware there are some little lapses, but we are bridging the gap.
How have Nigerian government, for instance, the Ministry of Information and Culture, invest in Nigerian arts and crafts in order to make us have our own made arts around us? Because our art is appreciated outside a lot. We love the Nigerian culture. How does the government take it serious on us by investing in this?
You see, first and foremost, we have to understand what the creative arts is all about. Creative arts is about skill, talent of individuals. This skill and talent metamorphose into wealth and job creation. I can tell you that the contribution has been maybe about 0.3% of our GDP. But credit is being given to this management under my leadership. We secured the first ever in the history of creative industry in this country, 300 million from Bank of Industry. And may I use this opportunity to thank Bank of Industry for giving us that support. The support is single-digit interest rate back. That has been able to answer your question to a large extent. Now, we've been able to form corporations, cooperatives within state, local government wards, etc., who benefited and still benefiting from this fund, which is a strong statement that government is really helping the creative industry to develop. You can see what we're promoting here. On my table, for instance, this is a bottle of Coke. This is a penny holder, which normally somebody would have said to you, oh, we're going to buy it for $20, $20. This is just 100 naira. This is a paper, Nigerian paper holder. Yes, it's just 100 naira, right? Which I wish I can find one. We have the bag there. That bag for school children. You can see it. This is Nigerian.
Yeah.
I mean, it's lovely. It's good looking.
Yeah.
We also have the one for the iPad is somewhere. I think in the course of this interview, I'll bring it out. So, what we have tried to do is to make sure that we help to build the creative industry by creating jobs and then empowering our people. We can tell you that the project of From Waste to Wealth has really tremendously paid off for us. These are pieces of dresses that was thrown away. They cover it, it looked nice. Now, because we have patronized these people now, We have encouraged them to produce more. They're going to improve the next production. And I can assure you, we're not stopping there. We're still supporting the creative industry.
We all know that Nigeria is rich in terms of tourism, waterfalls, and all of that. And then tourism won't be difficult. Unlike other countries that have artificial tourism, they just create them, but ours is natural.
Yeah.
So we know that Nigerians stand a great chance in surviving the present economical challenge.
Mm-hmm.
So do you think there is any way that Nigeria has come up in terms of cultural festivals, creative industries, in terms of helping the youth getting job, engaging them in one way or the other? How do you feel that Nigeria can help out through culture and tourism, creative arts and all of that to help us survive the economic changes?
Well, I can tell you the palm oil, culture is the palm oil that you will use to eat the cooked yam, which is known as tourism. So culture is actually the content. Culture produces and have the content that tourism will sell. I agree with you. So far, we have 167 festivals across the country. Also, don't forget that we have over 267 ethnic groups in Nigeria. And out of 684 languages in Africa, Nigeria alone has about 200 and something. So our population should be to our advantage. The festivals, if you recently, Calabar Festival came up. Yeah, I want to agree with you because the first carnival in the world is Trinidad and Tobago, which is 194 years old, followed by the Brazilian Carnival, which is 89 years old now. Then Notting Hill Carnival in London, which is just, I think, 46 years old. Now, every carnival or every festival has its own history, which is what we are developing in Nigeria. If you go on our website now, you see a lot of festivals that happen. So what this office is doing now is to streamline and coordinate. So you don't have 3-4 festivals at the same time. So even if a tourist coming and he wants to visit different cities, he or she has the opportunity at any given time. It amuses me that in China they even have rain festival. People want to experience the rain. And what they call rain there is just shower. The rain is in Africa. So we're trying to encourage 1 or 2 states to come up with, you see, we have Ikokosi in Ekiti, where the hot and cold water meet. We have the Oshun Shogbo, we have the Oluma Rock, we have the Yankari, we have the Mambila. I mean, there are so many. So, and that's why this office came up with 37 wonders of 37 cultural wonders of Nigeria. That means we're taking one cultural content of each state and Abuja, and we're doing a whole documentary, an historic background on them, so that forms what we will call the story of culture in Nigeria. So if you just open that book, you can see all the details, etc.
Okay. Yeah. In terms of cultural diplomacy, how have we been able, within Nigeria and outside, how have we been able to exchange those things that we have? Maybe make our monuments, take them out, sell them to other countries, just the way we are buying from theirs and using theirs very well. So have we started sending out those things, exchanging, cultural exchange? Has it begun?
I must commend you for this question because according to the African Treaty, which Nigeria is a member, and 54 countries are involved, which are the Commonwealth countries. We have this partnership and bilateral relationships in terms of culture. Recently, when there was the xenophobic attack in South Africa, we opted to use the cultural diplomacy to resolve the matter, and it's helping a big deal. I also remembered when there was the first time World Cup came to Africa, was to South Africa in 2010. And what happened? Nigeria was the country that went, set up a village under my leadership. I led the team, set up a whole village in South Africa. So those are some of the strategies we've been using. Also, in 2012, during the Olympics in London, we had a whole outing where we served the 36 dishes of Nigeria, including Abuja 37, for people to taste and how they feel. These are some of the strategy some other countries have used, and they've made a major impact. And that's what I believe we can do to make things to work.
Now, is there any event, maybe right now we know of an upcoming event,
Yeah.
AFAC Expo, so that is coming up. So maybe you should tell us about the event, what to expect from the event.
Well, AFAC is an African and international expo, which is, of course, the biggest in Africa. We have been having expo for 9 years. This is the 10th edition, but we're taking it to the next level, 2017. We are going to have a multi-dimensional pavilion, which we believe is going to be first of its kind in the recent time. Why did I say that? One, by all standard, we're going to have a medical setup. We're going to have a library in there which will tell the story of Nigeria. We're going to have a media center, a medical center, emergency evacuation stuff, a stage. What we're trying to do here is to set the international standard of having expo and exhibitions. So all this will come up in August 27, and by the grace of God, we are hoping that the Right Honorable Speaker Dugara of the House of Representatives will declare it open for us.
Thank you very much.
I'd like to thank you too for coming to speak to us, but I would also especially like to thank the AIT family for this wonderful support they've been giving to us, and for the exposure. If not for people like you, a lot of things would have been hidden from Nigerians, and it is time to let our people know. Education, information are two critical issues that help the people to build a better tomorrow. Thank you very much.
Wow, who does not love his roots? It is high time we Nigerians appreciate our culture, and it is high time to promote it within and outside the country. It is on this note I say thank you for watching. Join us same time next week. I am Ndila Mangai. Bye for now.